Why do Canadians want my business to invest in things that are not necessary? Click here the subscribe button, set up the alert, like the video if you feel it's useful to you. So here's one thing I hear a lot. People tell me, it seems like they're making excuses not to buy from us. And then people start to give me examples, right? What is that their potential client is telling them that they feel has nothing to do with what they sell. It has to do with things like, for example, they want to see a very accurate, ready to use product or demo, for example. And here's a problem. Sometimes what you have produced is to a slightly different situation. Could be in another language, or it could be for a different type of client. And sometimes people want the potential buyer to have that faith. Okay, do this leap of faith with me. I'm going to show you this, but I'm going to deliver to you this other thing. Oh yeah, I can take care of that. Well, if people want to see a true sample, or let's say if it's a product, they want to see the full product. They just don't want to see a sample or something on a catalog, or if it's a software, they want to see something ready to play and run for them. They don't want to see something similar enough with the promise that you're gonna get something that they need, exactly they need when they sign and buy from you, right? They want to see something that's ready and accurate, right? And ready to use, product or service. And that's where people sometimes start to ask for a one-pager even before sitting down with you to have a meeting. People say, well, I do have a full presentation, and the guy keeps asking me for a one-pager before we sit down and meet. That's not realistic, because what we do is so thorough, so complex, and so helpful that I can't even crystallize that in only one page. But they keep asking me, send me the one pager, unless they don't book the meeting with me. The other thing that I feel that I see people asking a lot is like, oh, they want to see success cases, but they want to see with numbers. Well, they don't understand. Our clients don't share the numbers with us. You know, we don't have this quantifiable impact of what we do for our clients, because our clients even hide it from us sometimes, because they feel like if we know for sure what's the full size of the monetary positive impact we're creating, we're going to increase our prices, or whatever may be the case. So we have all these reasons why we cannot provide some of these things that people are asking us. For example, ready to use demo, or product sample, or actual product, or a one pager, or success with success cases with numbers. The other thing people ask is like, okay, what's your Canadian experience, or what kind of clients that are exactly like me that you have already served? Especially if you are in the beginning of the journey, either if you're a foreign company or a startup in Canada, you don't have that many clients yet, right? So it's like, how you're gonna sell the first one if nobody already bought from you, and if everybody you talk to want to see and to learn about who else already bought from you. It seems like a chicken and egg situation. And not to mention things like lots of other requirements that apparently have nothing to do with what we sell, right? What your company sells. For example, I've seen people ask for, okay, we need to see that you have the insurance policy before you can be allowed on premise here, or before you can access our servers, or whatever may be the case. Or we want to see what's your corporate policy about environment and anti-discrimination, anti-harassment. And people are like, oh geez, but we're selling this thing and they want to see all these other things. Anyways, the group and the collection of all these little things I just said here, right? People put all this together and they get the impression like, wow, they're just making excuses. They don't want to talk to somebody like me, and they keep putting off and making excuses. And you know, why is that? If my product, my service so clearly delivers fantastic value to them, better than anything else that they have available, why is it that they keep making all these peripheral excuses that have nothing to do with anything? Let's think for 1 second here. What happens in a lot of places, but especially in Canada, for example, why do people take people that can be their clients, like prospects, existing clients, to golf? Why do people do that? You say, okay, Marcelo, is this a different video? Why you're switching topics? No, it has everything to do with what I just said. Think about a golf game, right? You're spending about 4 to 5 hours with somebody in that exercise, which is the 18 holes of your golf game, right? Look at what you're getting indirectly there. The goal is not like to reach a certain score, only that. I mean, especially if it's part of a business relationship. So why are you wasting 5 hours of your time to be golfing with a potential client or a potential supplier? Well, think about what you learn indirectly about that individual and that corporation. You learn a lot about character, right? Because you can check, you can see how people behave themselves, about their integrity, their honesty, their composure under pressure, right? Their attitude towards adversity, the patience that they have, the persistence, how they go about problem solving and strategy when they see themselves in a tough spot, right? And even like things like lighter, like sportsmanship, teamwork, their humility or their ego. I mean, you get all of these indirect things from a golf game. Okay, so what does it have to do with the video that we're talking about here, which is why do Canadians want my business to invest in things that are not necessary? Well, think about the golf game. You acquire knowledge about your counterpart or relationship in a very indirect way. It is the same thing that's happening here, okay? If this sounds a bit complicated, don't worry. Click here the link from the description, and we have our product here, our platform called Your Business in Canada, where we help you build your success for your business here in Canada, okay? So anyways, what are we talking about here? What people are really trying to assess, just like your golf buddy that is not interested in how many points you score if they are trying to do business with you. It's not like who score the best score in golf, which is the lowest score, that they're gonna award the contract. No, it's not that, but you want to know the behavior of the person. You want to know what kind of person you're dealing with. It's the same thing. When people start to ask you all these peripheral things about your business, they're not just mindlessly trying to tick boxes. They're also trying to assess a few very important things in the business relationship. Are you a flight risk? Especially if you were a startup or a company coming from another country and kind of you don't have a big track record around. Like, am I gonna close a contract with you and you're gonna disappear? Like, how do I know that you're gonna be around when I need you, when there is a problem? The other thing is like, do you cut corners? Oh yeah, don't worry, yeah, we should do this, but we can do this, it's kind of the same thing, yeah, don't worry. Like, Canadians get really nervous about that type of behavior, right? Do you have a clear plan? Clear plan? Oh yeah, this is how it happens, and then 1, then 2, then 3. It gives people comfort when they have a predictability. They know they're dealing with somebody well structured. Are you showing that you're committed, that you're investing in Canada? You're committed to this project? Right? So they're trying to assess all these things by asking all these peripheral questions and asking for all these other things that apparently have nothing to do with anything. So these are 4 things that work when you're faced with this situation. Experience here and the observation of many people in this area like have allowed us to summarize here in 4 very quick points. What can you do when you're faced with this situation? First, you should always beforehand, prior to engaging with somebody in a commercial conversation, you should have done your homework so you understand what kind of expectations are going to show up in that meeting. What kind of expectations are people going to have? You should do your homework. So upfront, thorough homework before the meeting. That helps a lot. Second thing, you should be ready and prepared through your homework to provide comfort through familiarity. What does that mean? People want to know it's not going to be your first rodeo with them. They're not going to be your guinea pig. People want to say, oh, okay, they know. And you know what? Don't get this wrong. It's not like if you're a startup without big track record, or if you're a company from abroad, you don't have any clients here. That's okay. That's okay. They don't want to copy paste, of course, a client exactly like them. But you need to show that you understand. And say, okay, I understand a company like yours. These are things that seem to be important. Just like these were the same things that were important to this other type of client that we had in this other circumstance. And that's how we accomplished their goals. Just like we can accomplish your goals. People need to feel that you understand their situation and that you are ready to provide the value that they are asking. What goes very wrong in this type of situation is somebody saying, yeah, but do you have something like this? Say, oh, no, but there's this other thing here. Look how wonderful we were in the other context. Therefore, do a leap of faith with me and believe I'm going to add value to you too. So talking about something that's not familiar is not going to help. Even if it's wonderful, it's better. I joke, even if you're sold to NASA, people are not going to be feeling very excited about it. They're saying, well, that's good for you, but I'm not a space agency. I'm a company, I'm a manufacturing company doing this here. So like, what have you done to manufacturing companies like me, right, of my size? So you need to provide comfort through familiarity. The third thing you need to do, you need to show that your company as a whole is prepared and willing to adapt. Say, oh, okay, we're missing these few things that you would need for you to deal with us. That's okay. That has showed up as part of our planning already. And we are exactly working on this right now. We have a team working on this, or we are going to be ready. And a plan and a commitment to step up. That's the fourth thing. The idea is like, yeah, I don't have what you're asking me today, but you know what? In 2 weeks, I'm going to have something, I'm going to send it to you. As opposed to getting to the arm wrestling and telling them, oh yeah, but you know what? This thing you're asking, that's not really what's relevant. Look at this other thing that I can deliver here. This is really what you should be worried about. Telling people that they're wrong usually is not a great way to build rapport and make a sale, right? Validating their concern and showing we're doing something about it, that goes a longer way. So that is what actually happens when people have this feeling that, why are these Canadians asking me for stuff that is relevant to my business? Think about the golf game. Why do somebody want to golf with me? You know, I don't sell golf clubs, I don't sell golf balls, so why do they want? They're assessing your personality, your character, and everything else, your relationship in another way. Same thing, when they start to ask you about a lot of things that seem not to be directly related to what you're trying to sell, they are trying to assess your quality as a business partner, as a trusted relationship within their network, okay? Here are 2 other videos about this topic that are going to be helpful for you.